Hello everyone, I hope everyone's enjoying here at the CNE. My name is Brandon. I work with Mike here. He's the founder of Fishing Friendzy, this amazing group that everyone's at right now. Catching fish, casting out, learning every little trick there is when it comes to fishing. Now, I'm also pro staff. I do tournaments for Sticks to Stones. I just finished up my tournament season this year, and my absolute favorite thing to do is obviously bass fishing. I don't know how many of you guys here do the bass fishing stuff. We got one, we got him, and then, so if you guys wanna, I'm gonna ask some questions to everyone. If you guys get the questions right, we got prizes here for you guys, but I'm also gonna talk about my experience on how I started fishing and how I grew to love my sport. Now, when I first started fishing, I was about 4 years old in New Brunswick. I was with my great grandma, and it was probably the greatest experience of my life. She taught me how to cast one night, and she went to go show me, and she went a little bit too far with her backswing, and the hook went right up her behind area. So that was the funniest thing. I still remember it like it was yesterday, and that's what gave me the love of the sport. And I think all boys and girls, they need to come out, they need to learn it, because it's a great way to get out there instead of staying at home playing video games. You gotta go out there, experience everything, stay out of trouble. That's the key for most parents, stay out of trouble. And so if anyone got questions and or whatever, and I'll give you some prizes out.
Where's the best place to bass fish?
The best place? Oh geez. See, where I fish normally is Georgian Bay, and by far my favorite. I fish lots of lakes, Muskoka, I fish G-Pool in Port Severn, I fish Simcoe, I fish even Lake Ontario, and by far Georgian Bay.
Lake Simcoe, we find they're not as plentiful.
No.
But in the creek they are, but they're small.
Yeah. Lake Simcoe for me is all about the ice fishing there. Ice fishing there, perch, lake trout, by far the best for
And
me.
they're a good size?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're great size. Here, I'll give you, what you got?
He's too shy to say.
That's alright. Yeah, I'll give you a hat, buddy. So, I got up here, I got a couple rods up here. I got spinner baits. Now for spinner bait is probably one of the, by far my favorite when it comes to overcast. I throw in the white ones usually. And you kind of toss it out there and you slow roll it. So you cast in really slow from the shorelines. And if they're hungry, they're gonna attack it and they're not gonna let go.
Would it get a lily pad?
Lily pads?
Yeah.
That's when I toss out one of these. It's a pot.
Frogger?
This one's a fish. It's almost the same thing as the frog, but the frog also works just as good.
Yeah.
This one, you swim it. There's the tail there. It's like a propeller, so it makes a lot of noise and it attracts. That's what attracts the fish. Pardon? Oh no, not this one. No, not this one. No.
We have the frogger, but we don't have that.
The
How
frogger?
much is that one?
I have about $15. Yeah, no, not really. No, you can get them off eBaits. They're right there, and they do a monthly subscription, and you can customize your box to whatever kind of fish you want. Like, so if you're all bass, you can put that down. They'll customize it, and every month they'll send you a box with you don't know what's really gonna come into your box. And this also, you can also get one of these packs in that box too. They're Senkos. These are great for when the fish are really finicky. So when they're not really wanting that fast moving bait, this slowly sinks down. And the tail, here I got a rod here with it on. So right here is the Senko. And you got one single little hook right there. And when you cast it down, this kind of wiggles on the way down, and it slowly moves, and it kind of goes like that. But it's slow, so when the bass aren't really wanting that fast moving, like the spinner bait or anything like that, these are great to use because it just slowly goes down. And it kind of stays in that strike zone for a long time, and then they look at it, they just eat it right up. So these are great to have, and they are very, very easy to use. For there's some lures out here that we got where you got to twitch it a certain way, you got to move it a certain way, but the Senko, you just cast it out, you just let it drop. They're perfect, and they'll catch you big fish. Big fish. I caught 2 weeks ago. I was doing a tournament, and I was using a Senko, and I caught a 4.5 pound smallmouth bass on a Senko. So, and for kids, they're great to use. Like my girlfriend, she wants to get into it. I was like, you got to start off with the Senko, because worm and bobber you can do all that, but if you really want to do like a certain fish, I mean, the Senko is just as well as worm and bobber. Worm and bobber is great for kids also too, for off the dock or off a shoreline or whatnot. But
you can leave those out in the sun and they don't die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a pack can last you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long. And they don't smell. That's even better. Your hands don't get all dirty and stuff. Yeah. Does anyone else have questions? Pardon? License? At Canadian Tire, you can either get your conservation license or your sportsman license. It's two different. The conservation one's 4 years. It's about, I think, 30 to 35 bucks for 4 years at Canadian Tire. And the sportsman one is $30, and it's only for 1 year. But there's different regulations with the two licenses. Like sportsman, there's a certain amount of fish that you can keep with the sportsman, where conservation, you only keep like a smaller limit, if you know what I mean. And you can get that Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, Canadian Tire, anywhere fishing, sporting stores like that.
But kids under 16 are free. You don't have
Yeah, no, you don't. If you're over 18, you need your fishing license. Oh yeah, you can get it from the M&R. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can also do it online. I forgot about that. I usually do it at Canadian Tire because it's right beside my house. Anyone else? Questions? What's up, buddy? I like the hat.
I have one rod that has like really bad fishing line, and it's like such a fish.
That's a good question, because I use lots of types of different fishing line. Now there's line where like,
Or a tangle, some line tangle.
well, see, the problem with that, I can tell you what's going on with that one. It's just on there for too long. So when it's on there for too long and it sits there for, let's say, over the winter, I always redo my lines maybe 2 times a month, because the more it just sits there, the line kind of forms that way. So that's where all the tangles come from. So it's not really about the line or what kind of line it was. It's just on there too long. That's why if you go to like Canadian Tire and you buy a fishing rod with line already on it.
So certain line isn't better than others that you could leave it on there?
It all depends on what you're also fishing too. So like if you're fishing clear water, you always like to have that mono, the clear line. So the clear mono.
But how many pounds?
It all really depends on. I mean, I've caught fish. 3 weeks ago, I caught a 20 pound pike on 10 pound test. So it all depends on how you work that fish in. There's certain ways. I like fishing around 6 pound for certain things, and it all depends on what you want to use too.
But just for everyday perch, bass, like
6 pound, 6 pound works. Probably the greatest is 6. You don't really want to go too much higher, because they're a type of fish that don't really grow to be over 6. Really, it's really hard to find over 6 pound bass and stuff like that. And yeah, but
it won't snap.
no, it won't snap. No, you'll be fine unless you have old line, or if you check every now and then, you check your line like this, and if you feel it kind of getting rough, break it off above where that part's getting rough, and then you'll be fine. Because that roughness is like it's from your line rubbing against a rock or a limber in the water, and it just kind of weakens up that line in that one spot. So you probably will break off easy that way. So the best thing to do is kind of feel it out there a little while, and then just cut it where you don't feel it no more, and then re-tie it up again, and you won't lose fish that way. You'll be fine that way. Anyone else? No more? It all depends on the time of the year.
So time of day.
So and the time of day. So around like the May 2-4 weekend, like May, April, around that area, all the way to about, I'd say about June. That's their spawning time. So they like going up to the shallow waters. They don't really like that deep water. They go to the shallows. Once they're done spawning, you'll find them in weeds. Look for really weedy areas. And they're always in that area because they blend in with the weeds. So once a bait fish or food comes by that weeds, they just snap it right away. That's the best area. Ice fishing and regular fishing? That's a good question.
Why do you need more beer to stay warm?
Ice fishing is just cold. I mean, I like ice fishing, but it's also very, like if you have kids that you want to take out with you and stuff like that, it's really good for them too, because you can set up poles, you can set up your line, you don't have to worry about the rod as long as it's attached to something where a fish won't take it in, and the kids can run around, they can do whatever in the snow. But the only thing that is kind of summer, you can move around more, right? You can move around, you can go to place, where winter you can do the same thing in winter, but the problem with doing it in the winter time is that you got to keep on drilling new holes. But overall, the fishing wise, overall it's about the same. Yeah, overall it's just about the same. You catch just as much as you do in the summer than you do in the winter.
What's the difference with the braided line?
Braided line?
Yeah.
It's stronger.
Okay.
And I always find when I use, it doesn't tangle very often, so it is also very good. And what I find with it, when I bass fish, I fish in a lot of weedy areas, and I find with the braid, it cuts through those lily pads a lot easier. Because I don't know what it is with it, but I just feel like for my personal reference,
You don't lose as many lures.
I don't lose as many. I can easily get it out quicker. And a good part about braid too is that with the mono, so if you wanted to go, let's say 20 pounds, you can go for 30 or 40 braid and it'd be the same kind of like width, I guess you want to call it, like width as the mono. So you can go heavier with the braid where it won't fill up your rod as much as it would for, it's a lot stronger in my opinion. I love using braid. Braid's my favorite.
This one has the braided line and it doesn't change.
Yeah, no, I use braid all the time. It's my favorite to use, and I had no issues with it. And like the only problem with braid is that if you're fishing a clear lake, they can see it because it's a lot darker, and they can see it a lot easier. And depending on the day or the fish, they get smart about it. That will scare them off half the time. Any more questions? Prizes? All right, who wants prizes? What's your biggest fish? Yay big?
They mentioned little ones.
Yay big? I like yay big.
Mostly perch and bass.
Maybe this spinner here. How about her? Has she caught a fish?
Yes, she has.
She has.
But they're like sunfish and yeah.
That's still great that she's getting out there.
Shirts?
The fish I catch? So I catch all the time. I love going for bass. Bass. My biggest bass, that's a good question. So the biggest bass, so largemouth, my biggest bass was about 6.5 pounds. And my biggest smallmouth bass was 17.14 ounces. Or 7 pounds, 14 ounces, sorry, not 17. Here, buddy. This.
How big, what's a normal size for fish?
So that's a good one because it depends on what kind of fish.
Basically, what's the size you can keep?
Yeah.
I know when we catch little ones, we have to throw them back. They're not big enough.
So again, that also depends on the fish too. Yeah, so in Ontario for the bass, a keeper is 13 inches. And pike and all that, I really don't know. But it's the same, like walleye, it's a slot range. So anything over, I think 18 or something like that, you can keep those. Anything over, I think 18 inches, 15, 18 inches, you can keep those.
Very big.
Perch, I don't think there's really a slot size for the perch because it all like they don't get very big. Like you can keep a bunch of like these, but I mean you got to keep like 80 of them that feed yourself, right? Where if you catch the jumbo ones that are this big, you can catch 10 of them and still be a good feed. So it all depends. You can keep them when they're this big, but do you really want to try cooking all those? No.
Just keep them on ice and they should be okay.
Yeah, they should be okay on ice. If you're out there in the sun, make sure they're on ice. But I mean, you can throw them in your freezer. You can have them for next year. I like when I go to keep fish because I like to keep that fishery going. I don't like to stock up my freezer. I like to, if I go out for the day and I feel like I'm going to keep fish, then I only catch on when I'm going to go home and cook that night. Right? So I don't go out for me personally because I like to keep everything going. I don't want to take home, let's say for the perch, I don't want to take home 30 of them and then go out tomorrow and then keep catching another 30 of them.
Well, it's best to cook it and then
it's always best. And that way it's fresh too. That way it's fresh too. You catch it that day, you eat it that day. It's fresh either way, but I mean, you'd rather catch it and eat it all the same day. Anyone else questions? Yeah. How old was I? I was 4 years old, so that's 19 years when I was 4. Here, you want a prize? That was a good question. Anyone else questions? You got a question? No question? Okay. What's up? Where's Matt when we need him? Fly fishing for me is a whole new world in general. You got hip waders, you got to do the whole, and then you got to know what kind of fly. Yeah, it's a whole new. For me, it's a whole new world. Salmon they're good fish. I like salmon. Anyone else? Here, I'll give a. Are these stickers? You want a sticker, buddy? There you go.
You want him to hand out stickers? He can be a helper. He wants to hand out stickers for little.
Here, I'll give you the little ones. Alright everyone, at 5:30, I'll be back on this boat talking again and handing out more prizes. But if you guys still have questions and you guys are coming here, catch your fish, cast out your rods. But I'll be around here if you guys have any questions. I'll be right here. Thank you very much guys for coming out.